Welcome back, everybody. Listen to the Discus Lariat Collective podcast. I'm your host, Warren. Today, joined by close personal friend, Christopher Hoyne,
All right.
all the way in New Zealand. So there's literally a 12-hour time difference here. So insane.
Yeah.
Fair balls for coming on. I was going to say, yeah, so today we're just going to chat about WrestleMania 18. Yeah, Chris's probably favourite, if not second favourite, because 17, I
Yeah,
think, is up
definitely.
there. Yeah, with everyone. But yeah, before we get into it, if you're listening to this where you get your podcast, give us a follow there. It helps us out. And if you're watching this on YouTube, drop a like, comment, let us know what you thought about WrestleMania 18, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So we'll get into it. We won't go through every match because it's 12 or 13 matches on the card, which is long out one. But yeah, I think the first one we could chat about would be the Taker and Flair kind of storyline, I suppose. Yeah, going into the match.
Yeah.
The match itself, yeah, no DQ match. It was fairly violent, I suppose. Ric Flair bleeding, I'd say, like with a strong breeze. Yeah, poor Vass just opens up. But
Yeah, no.
yeah, there was lead up to it. Undertaker was trying to goad Flair into a match and made a show of his son. Bet the bollocks out when he was training for wrestling stuff like we were just chatting about before we came on. The match itself was pretty good, but yeah, now Taker at this time was we used the balls really. It was class because around 2000 when he came back as like Boyka Taker, he was a bit out of shape, stuff like that. You know what I mean? He didn't look great, but 02, 03 Taker was savage. I really like that era of Taker.
Even like the speed of him back then as well. He was, as you said, he wasn't in the best of shape when he came back. But after that, yeah, the speed of him, he was flying around in that Flair match. He knocks the shit out of Flair.
Yeah, it literally does. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's
No,
a great part in the middle of it where like Flair has him down and he just lets out this bellow. Do you know the bit I'm talking about? Taker's, Taker's down on his knees and Flair is covered in the blood and he's holding him and he just goes, yeah, a personal favourite moment.
Oh, stuff. It's actually funny though because speaking of Ric Flair, Wayne always says it about Ric Flair and his selling and the noises he does make. Like,
Ah,
yeah, like he gets a dig or he gets hit with something, you're like, oh Jesus, oh
yeah,
God, and he'd be crawling away from them and all. It's just
yeah.
he's
No, he's
savage.
fantastic. He's fantastic. He
Yeah,
wasn't in. He was 50. How old was he then? 52.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, 52,
Yeah.
53. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. And he gets battered for solid 14 minutes, I think.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he just takes the brunt of the offense. Like,
Uh,
yeah, Taker beats him then fairly nonchalant near the end. But of course, obviously,
guest cameo from Aaron Anderson rocks up and gives Flair a Taker a fantastic spine buster.
oh, stop. Yeah, literally spine busters
Yeah,
him out of his boots.
yeah, no, he kills him. Yeah,
Yeah,
J- Jr. gets very pumped at that moment as well, halfway through it.
yeah, goes horse for a minute.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
Yeah,
great to see Aaron again.
yeah. It's like not like I haven't seen him in the back just there about 10 minutes before I came out to the show, but that's the way he
Mm,
goes on. But yeah, savage match though. It was one of Flair's best at the time because Flair was kind of a bit part kind of in ring at the time, and
That was he was floundering when he first came back. That was when he dropped his general manager role, wasn't it?
uh,
Or the
yeah, he was like owning half
yeah,
owning WWE,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then they dropped it then after that, and he became just like a general manager of Raw, I think, and Vince
yeah.
got SmackDown or something like that.
For no disqualification match. There's only one. Like there's only a pipe used in it. Like, there's no chairs. There's no.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
it's not as
Not that was
hardcore.
not that was needed, but like yeah,
Yeah, there's yeah, it's actually because they kept leading in with the pipe as well because the past few weeks there was things done with the pipe, whether it was like Taker used to take it off his bike. Do you remember he had the pipe hidden,
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or down his boot. Yeah,
yeah, nice little
it's like
callback.
it's like William Regal with the brass knucks.
Yeah, in his
Yeah,
jocks.
yeah. In the cacks, yeah.
Yeah,
Which he used. Sorry to go off topic, but he used it was the same the year before in WrestleMania 17. When but go on. It was
yeah, he
mad.
was mad for using them. Speaking of Regal, actually, yeah, he lost his IC title and at the start of this event to
For
RVD.
a second year in a row, yeah, because he
Yeah,
lost it the year before to Jericho in the opening match. Yeah, so he's consistent in uh, his WrestleMania debuts.
he is. Yeah, putting over
Yeah,
talent.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
RVD though on fire, and sorry to on fire back then. White hot.
Yeah,
as they say.
absolutely.
Uh,
Um, yeah, O2 was a
liquid wrestling.
fantastic year. Oh yeah, yeah. O2 was a
Mm,
great year for OVD.
mm.
What was I going to say? In terms of the rest of the card, like we had a few other matches, like DDP against Christian, RVD against Regal, as we said. Maven won the hardcore title, stuff like that. Kurt Angle against Kane.
Oh, yeah.
Um, what are you gonna say?
Hardcore shithousery
Oh,
is that.
stuff.
Oh, it's insane some of the stuff that goes on.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
what else do we have? Another kind of standout match we could chat about would be Austin and Scott Hall. Like the match itself wasn't anything special, but
Yeah, but it was. I don't think Austin and Razor never had a match. I
mm,
don't think so. It was good to see it from that point of view. Like that was how I liked it. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good way to look at it, actually. Yeah, I never really thought of that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a
very
real
good.
good way to look at it. That match though, it's all about the selling, really, from Scott Hall.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, because
yeah,
he was fair. I don't know. He was either still drunk or just sober when he was making his entrance. You know what I mean?
yeah,
As he points out for Scott Kevin Nash 5 or 6 times before he actually comes out.
yeah, yeah. He
Yeah,
kept doing it. It was really awkward because the camera just wouldn't leave him either.
yeah, that was
So
terrible. Yeah.
yeah, it's pure embarrassing. But
Mm.
yeah, Scott Hall had a bit of a weird run and out too. Like it wasn't memorable by any stretch, and it was
No, not
memorable
at all.
for the wrong reasons almost. You know what I mean? Slurring his
He was
words on the mic, stuff like that.
he was only there for like a flash in the pan as well. Like he was gone by
Halfway through the year, I think.
halfway
Yeah,
through the year.
yeah, yeah. I think he was gone. Yeah, just after Mania, really. Yeah, around May.
Yeah,
Um, what was it? Yeah, so
because
that
of the flight from hell.
Fly from Hell. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
but
that was
in terms of that match with Austin and Hall, yeah, nothing to write home about. But Scott Hall selling them stunners though. My God,
fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
fucking sent into orbit. He was. But,
Kevin Nash comes down and fleeces the ref
oh yeah,
at one stage. Yeah, yeah. Nash tries to get in, gets a
yeah,
stunner for his efforts.
yeah. Nash can take a
Yeah,
stunner as well. Actually, Nash is a good
yeah,
seller.
yeah. Yeah, Nash is great. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd love to chat to him one
He,
day.
mm,
He
it's a
seems
pity.
cool.
You could probably get him on.
Maybe.
Throw him a few bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we'll move on to the four corner elimination tag team match.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're a
absolutely.
fan of this one anyway.
Yeah, it's a great match.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's Hardy's, Dudley's, Billy and Chuck,
yeah,
and the APA man who weren't in it for long. Who weren't in it for long enough, if you
no,
ask me.
no, they are
Yeah,
in and out.
yeah. Now, Bradshaw kills Billy Gunn with a clothesline. It's fantastic.
What do
Um,
you reckon the right team won? Billy and Chuck.
Yeah, I do actually. I
Yeah,
really do. Like even like it was good for them. Like Billy Gunn, man, so good, so good.
yeah,
Uh, Chuck Lumbo from WCW
mm,
alumni, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were great together though, Billy and Chuck.
yeah.
Um, like
Looking back on it, like you wouldn't be getting away with that today. Do you know what
no,
I mean?
no, you
No,
wouldn't. No,
yeah,
you'd
yeah.
get someone saying something about it straight away.
Hmm.
But the Billy and Chuck thing though, leading into that match, when I was watching the old like Raw and SmackDowns, there's an episode where they burst into the women's locker room, and the women are like, "What are you doing in here?" And he's like,
Yeah, yeah.
"Relax, don't flatter yourself. I'm not even looking at you." And they're like, "We want to show you this," and it's a new. They're saying about the new Divas calendar, which is all
Yeah.
like they're in that if and all. He's like, "Check out this one," and it's Billy and Chuck and all the poses. It's the funniest thing ever. Literally, it's worth going
Uh,
back and looking at that. It's just gas because Tori Wilson, and I think it is, she's like, "Oh, that's like whatever. Like you." Ours is gonna outsell that, and he's like, "Oh, you'd be surprised." And then
yeah.
she was like, "Get out of here anyway." And Billy Gunn walks in. He goes, "Do you know what? Actually, before I go, do something about this here. Do something. Have you ever heard of concealer?" And I was like, "This guy, the fuck, what a legend."
Yeah, no, they were fantastic.
Yeah,
They weren't together for very long either, were they?
over a year anyway. I think.
Uh,
Yeah, but again, yeah, when it comes to tag teams, usually that are from day
mm.
one. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it wasn't to be.
They're not in that match a lot.
Billy and Chuck.
It's mostly the Dudleys and the Hardys,
Yeah,
and they just have a great back and forward for the whole match. Bubba
yeah.
repeatedly screams, "Jeff, you're gonna die," and then he's the one that ends up on his arse. And then he does it again with Matt halfway through the match. He climbs up, his where he does the backdrop, but he
Oh
never,
yeah.
So he got to do his backdrop and he lands, and you can hear JR saying that Devon Bubba has never once landed that he's never once landed that move in his
No.
entire yeah.
Yeah, it's like Rick when he goes up to the top rope. They always dump him off it.
Yeah,
Always. They never lands
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's always going on to his back here.
Yeah. It's just gas though.
There's a great spot where they go for the what's that, but Billy comes running up the apron and he sends Devon flying like a good 12 feet to the table. Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, and then that ends up with the Dudleys soon getting eliminated after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Matt and Jeff eat the pin then, did they? Or the APA? I can't remember.
Billy cracks Jeff at the belt.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when the ref is checking on Devon, then Billy smacks him with the belt, and then
Savage.
that's the end of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great match.
Yeah.
Back then, I was a Hardy fanboy. Like I thought, you know what I mean. I wanted to be Jeff Hardy, so I was heartbroken they lost.
Yeah.
But now looking back on it, yeah, great match.
Yeah, I was a Hardy's fanboy as well. It's like
who wasn't? Like,
yeah, true, yeah.
Who wasn't?
You need your head checked if you weren't, especially when you're at that age, like when you're around say 10, 11 or whatever, and all you're obsessed with is just seeing them jump off the biggest shit you've ever seen in your life, and you're like, oh, you could do that as well. Do you know what I mean?
Me and the mate, yeah, we used to like, yeah,
oh yeah,
but not even like just like the Dudleys as well, and Edge and Christian, like back then. Fantastic. Yeah, just fantastic between that, and you have the APA the odd time jumping in, but
that's what I mean. There was so many great tag teams, like across the three boys, as we said, Dudley's, Hardy's, Edge and Christian, APA, then Billy and Chuck, and then even if you go like slightly further back, you might have had say right to center, although they're not at the same level. They were still kind of good to a good dynamic. Headbangers a few years back before that as well. There's some deadly ones like. What was I going to say? We'll move on then.
Kane and X-Pac.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah.
Personal favorite of mine.
Yeah, and then
Kane and RVD.
Yeah. Chef's kiss.
There you go.
Both of them are going to the Hall of Fame this year. Amazing.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah.
What's the story with Taker not going in? Do you reckon he'll be a last minute announcement?
No, I think he'll get his own thing next year in his home state, Texas. Yeah. And he'll be the headliner. I'd love to see them just induct him and no one else next year.
Yeah,
that'd be
deserves a night. That'd be cool. Yeah. But just to randomly go off topic, have you seen Billy Gunn's sons in AEW?
Yeah.
One of them is the image of him. Like it's just him.
Yeah, Austin, I think. Austin Gunn.
Even does his missile drop kick exactly like him.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's the spit out of his mouth. Like thing as well, that Austin Gunn chap, he's a rapper as well.
Is he?
Yeah. And he's pretty good. He's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, yeah, usually like rappers like that aren't great, but he's not bad. I've only heard one song, but he just names all the AEW roster. It's pretty mad. So we'll move on. The Rock and Hogan. Go on.
Just real quickly after that match, all the tag team, all the hardcore madness is still going on.
Oh yeah, backstage.
Yeah. Like the Hurricane has a moment where he runs into the Godfather's office, and all his hoes are just talking about their tits. Do you know what I mean? One of them is like, my breasts are just too big. Like what the fuck? And that's
the Hurricane's behind the little sheet door,
and he gets the boner.
The broom.
Yeah, with the broom. Yeah, he gets the bruner.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
That stuff, that's more stuff that they've quietly swept under the rug.
Big time.
But sorry, there's another. Yeah, Al Snow legit tries to kill a man in that bit.
The golf cart, isn't it?
With the golf cart, yeah, and he crashes into this giant, just conveniently stacked pile of boxes. I love.
Yeah, I love that. I love Al Snow. I thought he was deadly.
Yeah, he was. He was great.
Yeah.
Wasn't a lot of losses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's mostly there to put people over.
Yeah, like if you were paid on your win-loss record, the chap would be broke, I'd say.
And Even just as I was saying to you earlier on about how I thought it was like even the bands that it's very 2002. You have Saliva, you've Drowning Pool, you've Bleeding. It's only just Saliva and Drowning Pool, isn't it?
At that one,
That play
yeah,
at that play, and then the following year is Limp Bizkit.
yeah, WrestleMania
Yeah,
19, yeah,
yeah. Plays Taker out in the
yeah. It's weird, isn't it? It is very, yeah,
yeah.
2002, yeah. What was I gonna say? New metal in full swing.
New
Um,
metal.
what was I gonna
There's
say? Go on.
sorry, and there's a bit in the when it shows the highlights of Access.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, when Stacy Keebler, there's a statue of
uh,
just Stacy Keebler's legs and arse,
yeah,
and everybody's just going up and just groping it,
yeah.
and
Touching it though.
it cuts the whole reaction of it, and she's the
She's
king.
very. Oh, the King's very weird, but even on the night after, on the night after Mania that year, and the
Yeah,
Raw, he's talking
he
about
took
it.
her home.
Yeah, shit like that. He's saying that he's like, oh yeah, I took her home. I was like,
You
it wouldn't
took the
surprise me either.
animal.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, he's a
um,
scumbag.
the whole time she's on, she's down for the four-way tag match,
Mm,
and the king is just talking about her arse for the whole match. Like he
yeah,
doesn't even focus on what's happening.
no, it's a bit too much. Like when you go back and watch it nowadays, you're like, how did they get away with it? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. What it is now to
yeah,
then is miles, leaps and miles. Yeah,
yeah, it really is. What we'll do is we'll move on and we'll just touch on maybe two more. So we'll go Rock and Hogan,
absolutely.
icon versus icon. Uh,
Yeah, the
insane. Like,
immortal one versus the
yeah,
great one.
literally, it was dead. Like the build to it was class. It was only like a 3 week build, but they had like Hogan legit tried to kill The Rock in a semi truck, where he
Yeah,
blitzed it through the car, stuff like that. Great build.
and
Um, both guys obviously. It's funny because like Hogan looked at the top of his game. He looked great. Um,
yeah, Hogan was in fighting shape then. We'll
yeah,
say.
he was super
Mm.
tan as usual. Nobody outhands the man. Especially at Mania, you're not
Skin,
gonna come close.
no, the skin of a hot dog.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Hogan and Rock, the match itself, they don't even like everyone always goes on about it. They don't even like lock up or touch each other for the first like 2 or 3 minutes.
No, it's just electricity. It's
It
just
is.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
What I love as well is I was saying it to the lads before. I think it's Billy Gunn actually was talking about that match and what was like watching that backstage and stuff. And he was saying
Mm,
about that crowd. That's the reaction you're looking for as a wrestler.
yeah,
So when he's teaching people nowadays and stuff, and he's saying to them, right, when you're in the ring and you know once the crowd reacts, if they're reacting before you even touched each other, don't bother touching each other. Drag it out as long as you can, because you're
yeah.
never going to get a reaction like that again. Like so, that was insane.
It's great. Like when you think of you only think of like not the, like the Mount Rushmore of
Yeah.
wrestling. You get like Hogan is on that.
Mm.
Austin, Cena. Do you think Dwayne?
Oh, that's a good one.
Like, do you know what I'm? Do you know what I'm? Should it have been
Yeah.
Hogan and Austin? Or yeah,
Yeah, actually, like that's the thing. I feel like Hogan and Rock like were the perfect two to do it, just because of how big and like the stardom behind both of them. Obviously, Rock was at that
yeah,
kind of starting to break Hollywood at the time and stuff like that, so it made sense. But I think if it was Hogan and Austin, it would have been. I think it would have been a better match
yeah.
overall, and I think it would have been a slightly
The roof.
cooler build.
I think the roof would have physically come off the building.
Yeah, like imagine hearing that glass shatter and the Hogan's already in
Yeah,
the ring. Oh my
yeah.
god.
Insane. Even now.
Yeah, chills thinking about it. Yeah, the match itself, like it wasn't bad by any means. It was pretty good, and that's the thing. It's more of a spectacle than a match. Do you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
knew you weren't going to get boys throwing suplexes around and this, that, and do that.
No,
Like
no. There's a callback. There's a test of strength and everything.
exactly, yeah. Like it's like if
Yeah.
you go back to Warrior and Hogan, that's what it reminds me of a lot.
That's
Um,
just a test of strength for 12 minutes.
exactly, yeah. So you have that, and then if you think about Hogan back then, the second that 3 count goes, he jumps out of pin.
Yeah,
You
shit,
know what I
yeah.
mean? So I
Yeah.
feel like this was the kind of thing where you couldn't get away with that if you did it to Rock because of how
No.
because he was the Hogan right now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
cool to see these two boys lock horns, or whatever. The crowd just ate it up. Like they
Yeah.
literally everything they did, the crowd was on that feet for it, and
They completely turned against The Rock.
they did, yeah, because it
Yeah.
was one of them things. It's like, oh my god, I'm after seeing someone who came before Rock and he's still at this level. It's like when The Rock fought Cena.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Yeah, they all
exactly.
turned
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh my god, The Rock is whack amazing."
yeah.
I know they weren't obviously on Cena's side to begin with, but I mean, Cena's
No,
there every week busting his arse, and now all of a sudden you're all over this part timer here.
but
So
in a couple of years, it's gonna be Cena doing that with Adam Cole. Do you
yeah,
know what I
it
mean?
actually is. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the thing.
Or
Like I'm
yeah,
actually missing Cena lately. I actually am. I know you hate them for years, but I'm actually missing him.
he has a real boy hair now.
He does, yeah. Action man here he
Yeah.
has going on.
It's insane.
What was I going to say? Rock and Hogan though, savage for what it was. Anyway, as we said, the
Yes.
crowd ate it up. If they couldn't do anything wrong. Do you know what I mean? Whoever
Yeah.
won, it wouldn't have been the wrong move. If you had say Rock hit the leg drop and Hogan hit the thing, they take each other's finishes, nothing would have been said because it was that
Yeah.
level of match. You know what I mean? They could do no wrong. Yeah, there's I was gonna say there's never gonna be anything like it, but the likes of the Scene and Rock, that does come close. The first one does come close in terms
Yeah.
of
Once in a lifetime,
yeah,
part two.
yeah, exactly. They did it again the year after.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Then
go on.
they they had a tag match together as well, right?
Which one? Hogan,
Uh, no, sorry, Cena and The Rock.
Cena
Did
and
they
Rock, they
then
did. Yeah,
team up?
they
Right.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did thing though. So did Hogan and Rock the night after Mania
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Against the other two boys.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, for what it was, it definitely should have main evented. Everyone says it. We said it a few minutes ago. Definitely should have main evented. Especially because when you have the crowd that hot for something like that, and it went on for like say 15, 16 minutes, you're gonna be wrecked after it. Like the crowds
Yeah.
are wrecked, like, and the matches that came before it were very crowd orientated as well. So
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
yeah. So I feel like it did like the next two matches suffered big time. The next one, obviously, and I actually feel bad because Jazz, Trish, and Lita had a decent triple threat.
Yeah, they did. They
Yeah,
really did.
but the crowd, it was like
Yeah.
there was no crowd there.
There was silent.
Yeah,
Yeah, completely. It was terrible.
yeah.
Yeah, I imagine the hot dog line got very big at that match.
Yeah,
Yeah, people
but
getting
again,
5
like,
points in.
yeah, that's because of Rock and Hogan. Like, you have to sucking everything out of fans. So, and then even the main event, Triple H and Jericho for the undisputed title. Like there was a cool build to it and this, that, and the other. We won't go too much into that build, but the match itself,
That was when Stephanie was with Jericho, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
There was a
He
very
was
funny thing to
on.
go back on and watch. I think it's 2 weeks before that WrestleMania. Watch the
Yeah.
Raw before it, and Triple H, he has like a pet bulldog or whatever, and it's called Lucy. And Stephanie has it.
Was that when he was wearing the leather
No,
hat
no,
backwards?
no,
Yeah,
the little leather beret. No, he's not.
Yeah.
No, but Stephanie brings his dog because they're getting a divorce. So the week before it, Triple H sawed her car in half, or convertible,
Yeah.
because everything
Yeah.
goes 50-50 in the divorce.
This is cool leather jacket, denim Triple H, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So
The game.
the game, yeah, the beginning of the game kind of thing, yeah. So she has his dog, and he's like, "Oh, Lucy, thanks very much for bringing that." And she's like, "No, it's actually my dog." And he's like, "Don't you hurt that dog, and I'll come back with like whatever a warrant to prove it's mine." While he goes off to do that, she gives the dog to Jericho, and Jericho's like, "Oh, that's disgusting. Get that dog away from you, right?" And
He saws it in half.
imagine. It's very funny because Jericho's like, "Oh, that's filthy," you know, and the dog shits on the floor, right? It's pure fake, whatever. Grant. Then she goes, "Get rid of him. Put the dog outside." So Jericho, being Jericho, ties the dog to a limo, right? And then at one stage, the limo pulls off, and all you hear is the dog yelping in the background. And then Triple H is underneath the limo. He's like, "Oh my god, Lucy," and he's freaking out. It's so weird to see Triple H, like badass Triple H, leather jacket wearing Triple H in the storyline like that. Like, oh Jesus, me dog.
I'm the good guy.
Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah, looking back on the
What
match.
do you reckon?
Sorry, go on.
Better heel, better face.
Oh, better heel.
Yeah, 100%.
All day. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I could watch Triple H as a heel for the rest of my life. Like it wouldn't bother me. The match with Jericho, good match. Yeah, like them two guys, they're always going to give you a good match, a solid match.
Yeah.
Obviously, as we said, the crowd were kind of taken out a bit because of Rock and Hogan.
Everyone was fatigued.
Yeah, exactly. So the crowd or the match suffered because of that. Now they did get a big pop when he pedigreed Steph. That got a big pop. But apart from that, though, yeah, the match itself, it was good. It was a shame to see Jericho basically be the first undisputed champion and then lose it in his first big defense. It was a shame. But again, I think the right person won because Triple H at the time came back just before the Rumble and just went on a tear. The crowd were behind him 100%. So that's what nowadays does be missing. We always say about why aren't they pushing this fella when the crowd are behind them? And then next thing, oh, you can't push him then 2 years later. So they did the right thing with Triple H, I think, letting him win.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. And like dominant when he came back.
Yeah, he really was. Yeah,
he was fantastic. Yeah, and as I said to you a while ago, like that was the end of that. Like the Jesus Christ, the Attitude Era belt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was terrible.
Yeah, they got rid of it then. They had the Undisputed Championship, the actual belt then for SmackDown, which great looking title as well. Now, don't get me wrong, but it was a shame. Like, sad seeing the thing go.
That is that's like the Undisputed belt is one of my favorite belts, man. And it did not get long enough of a run, I reckons.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Was it Cena a year later? Yeah.
When was it? No, 05 Cena. They put the spinner on it. Oh shit. Yeah, 05. Yeah.
Terrible.
Yep. So that's What was it?
I have to get a count on how many times I said terrible.
Yeah. It is a shame though when you see a belt that good looking as well. Like, and obviously it still has the prestige, obviously WWE Championship and all, but it's just a shame because it was an amazing looking belt and it suited nearly everyone who had it. Yeah,
and it was fun fact about that belt, when the Big Show won it, because he was so big, they made a second one. They made a much bigger one to suit his
waist
physique. Yeah.
That's mad.
Lesnar then. Not Lesnar. That's the one that the belt died on.
Yeah.
So the first belt is smaller than the second one.
Gas, I never knew that. That's pretty cool. Makes sense though. It's like I remember when Big Show won the ECW, WWE ECW championship, and they added
silver yoke.
No, the one before that, it was still the old school design, but it was in like 07, 08, and they put an extra strap on the back of it so it fit around them. It's weird looking. Yeah. Sure, all the belts now, if you look at the back of it, it has the indents for the buttons, but they don't use them anymore. They use a Velcro strap now, if you look at it.
Yeah, I have actually seen that.
Yeah, shame.
Yeah, it's just, and all the new belts are just the same. It's just our brand. It's not, there's no, it's not prestigious looking or something, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't look like a championship. As you said, it looks more like a brand, like a branding tool. Like, dead on. But WrestleMania 18 though, in closing, as a whole, great event. Great event. Show. Yeah, it really is. And like obviously you have 17, you have 18, you have 19 and 20.
17 though.
So, I mean, there's a lot of 17 is amazing, but I mean there's a consistent run of years there. Even WrestleMania 21 was very good.
Even 16, like WrestleMania 2000.
Yeah.
Don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. Like, I like it. There's not a singles match on the card, but still.
No. Every match is +4.
Yeah, but and McMahon in every corner. But what was I going to say? Yeah, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, even 21. I actually really like 21. Then 22, good show. Slightly less kind of star power or whatever, star-studded, I suppose you could say. But
what year was that? 2006?
2006, yeah.
Yeah.
It was one where Batista. Is it? No.
Yeah, that was Batista around the time I started
drifting off for a while. Yeah. It's like, don't get me wrong, they're good events, but back then the likes of WrestleMania 18, as you said, absolute standout. Every match on the card, it felt like everyone wanted to go out and steal the show, and that's what you want. Obviously, Rock and Hogan get that tenfold just because of what's behind it and the fans and all.
That's the match that gets the Meltzer Award.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. But we'll call it a day on this one then, because we've rambled on for quite some time. So no, it's all good. It's all good. But before we go, I want to say thanks very much for buzzing on at whatever 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning over your
10:01.
10:01 now, Jesus. But
good.
So that was WrestleMania, our WrestleMania 18 review, our little recap, kind of this trip down memory lane, what I suppose you could say. So once again, thanks very much for Chris joining us on that. And then
no worries.
So if you want to keep up to date with us, follow us on the socials, the Discus Laria on Twitter, Discus Laria Collective on Instagram. And then if you're watching this on YouTube, drop a like, drop a comment what you thought of WrestleMania 18. And then until next time then, See you soon.